What a week for pop culture. We honored legends we lost, applauded clapbacks, sent stocks skyrocketing, and laughed. Nervously. I'm Kate with Marketecture, and this is The Refresh, your weekly download on what went down in advertising. This week we're covering off on Alphabet's Q2 earnings, Newsweek's zero-click search survival strategy, and the FCC approving the Paramount Skydance merger. Before we get into it, a quick round of applause to our sponsor FreeWill, who's been with us for the last couple of months. Now, let's go talk about the news. First up, we have Alphabet, who's still on the up. Their latest earnings report saw their revenue rise 14% year over year to $96.4 billion. Ad sales climbed 10.4% to $71.3 billion, while search revenues increased almost 12% to $54.2 billion. YouTube revenue also grew by 13% to $9.8 billion. One notable but overlooked detail is that Google Network revenue was actually down. This includes publishers and app developers who plug into Google's AdTech. The bottom line is that this earnings report and the months since Google I/O in May demonstrated Google that knows that they can no longer afford to not push aggressively into generative AI, regardless of the impacts that it may have on the publisher ecosystem, particularly referral traffic, which is inextricably tied to advertiser revenue. For Google, it may not matter as much as recent data shows that users are spending more time with AI overviews and their AI mode. But for publishers who rely on traffic from Google to maintain profitability, it matters a lot. That's not a cliffhanger. This brings us to our next story, which examines how Newsweek is taking proactive steps to Google zero-proof themselves. Right now, digital advertising accounts for 63% of Newsweek's revenue, 70% of which comes from programmatic. In the face of declining referral traffic, Newsweek has set a goal to decrease its dependency on digital advertising to 55% over the next year. Newsweek is exploring diversifying their revenue streams by maximizing their acquisition of AdPrime, a healthcare and pharmaceutical-focused ad tech company, experimenting with events and different subscription options, as well as monetizing AI bot traffic through a partnership with Tollbit that allows them to charge on a pay-per-call basis. Finally, the FCC approved the Paramount Skydance merger, arguably the most dramatic media empire story since Succession aired. The $8 billion merger was approved last Thursday and is expected to be finalized this Thursday. It will bring together Paramount Pictures, streaming service Paramount Plus, and entities like CBS, Comedy Central, and BET. The merger has been plagued by drama on the path to its approval, including a $16 million settlement payment to President Trump, the cancellation of The Colbert Show, and that South Park episode.
We're terribly sorry.
Which aired mere days after South Park's creators signed a $1.5 billion streaming deal with Paramount. The FCC approved the merger after Skydance assured Chairman Brendan Carr that they would make sure that CBS News and Entertainment was free of bias. This included appointing an ombudsman to review complaints as well as ending any DEI programs. The bottom line here is that massive consolidation of entities like this have always been subject to legal and regulatory scrutiny. But these most recent approvals, including the Omnicom IPG merger, are beginning to feel a lot more guided by the politics du jour rather than by maintaining market fairness. It's too soon to know what the downstream effects could be on advertisers and the broader industry, but it's something to keep an eye on. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us for The Refresh, and we'll catch you next week.